welcome back to GuitarU.com, the best free guitar school anywhere. Thanks for stopping by. Right now, talking about root 6 bar chords. Root 6 bar chords are bar chords which gain their roots on string 6. They gain their names from their root notes. An E chord, for example, is a root 6 bar chord. Bar chords are very difficult to play, as we've discussed. They take a lot of patience and practice, and you just need the strength and dexterity to play them. I've shown you two ways in this lesson to gain strength and dexterity. One is a straight flat finger, say for example on the 3rd fret, arching and curving your 3rd finger down to the 5th fret. That's because all the action in rock and pop guitar basically is by moving your 1st and 3rd fingers. Of course, that is a little oversimplification, but you'll find it to be true as you progress in your guitar studies. So our first exercise, to review, the other one is playing an E chord in an unorthodox way and pushing it up 1 fret and bringing my bar down like that. This was our second exercise. There's my E, push it up, bar. Practice that on the various frets. That's important because you need to learn to visualize shapes when you play the guitar. The root 6 bar chords are all based on either E major, E minor, or E7. I call those the parent chords, and of course the movable chords are the chords in the various frets. So visualizing them is quite important, and naming them is quite important. You'll be naming them by using the notes on string 6. And in the printed portion of this lesson, you'll see many exercises and training exercises and flash videos that will enable you to learn these notes very quickly. Once you quickly can name the notes, you must address the quality of chords. As we have covered, the quality of a chord is the general overall sound it makes. The 3 main types of chord sounds in the musical world are major, minor, and dominant 7. As you systematically approach your study of chords, learn to play a major chord, a minor chord, and a dominant 7th chord in their root 6 forms, seeing their shapes as being related to the parent chords from which they are derived. In the case of root 6 chords, the parent chords are the common knowledge open string forms of E major, E minor, and E7. There are 3 basic qualities of chords on the E string: E major, E minor, E7. If I barred that on the 3rd fret, I'd be playing G, G minor, and G7. A lot of people like to think of those chords as being variations of the first one. If I'm playing G, pick up this finger, G minor. If I'm playing G, pick up this finger, G7. Those are based on their parent chords. Playing E, pick up this finger, E minor. Playing E, pick up this finger, E7. Here you see me playing an F major chord on the 1st fret. Notice I have a bar on the 1st fret of the guitar, and just over that bar, my straight flat finger, I'm playing something that looks very similar to an E chord. This is called the E type or the E shape of chord. If you look at the standard chord diagram just to the right of the photo, you'll also see something that looks suspiciously like a good old E chord. However, the red F note is telling you it's a root 6 chord played on the 1st fret. Therefore, that E shape of chord is now an F major chord. In this illustration, I'm playing F minor. All I've done is lift my 2nd finger off the guitar, flatting the note on the G string by 1/2 step, making it a minor chord. This also looks suspiciously like something called E minor. That's why this is called an E minor shape or an E minor type. However, once again, the red F note in the standard chord diagram to the right of the photo shows you that this chord is in fact an F minor chord. It is also a movable shape, a root 6 movable chord, or you could also call it the F minor type of chord. Finally here I'm playing an F7 chord, which once again looks suspiciously like E7. If you'll notice, all I've done is pick up my pinky in this case. So it's just another slight variation of the F major chord, just as is the case when you're playing E major, E minor, and E7. This is called an E7 type of chord, but it's a root 6 bar chord, and you can clearly see in the standard chord diagram to the right, the F root note indicates the name of the chord. Here's a visual reference which serves as a good reminder and review. Notice E major and F major have the same shape. E minor and F minor also have the same shape. E7 and F7, of course, the same shape. These chords are called movable chords. The E major, the E minor, and the E7 chords are called the parent chords in my system. The F major, the F minor, and the F7 are the movable chords. These forms can be played anywhere on the neck, but of course once you move them, they will have a different name. You certainly don't need me to tell you. Learning to play and name bar chords all the way up and down the neck is going to be very valuable to you. Songwriting, learning tunes, just practicing will be more and more fun the more chords you can play and name. I always say learning the guitar means learning chords, and in this case that axiom holds very true. This is Carl at GuitarU.com. Thanks for stopping by and listening to my ideas. And remember, this little video is just part of my big training course available at GuitarU.com. So I hope you enjoy these lessons, and I really appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one.